Welcome to my YouTube channel. So this side Priya Bhatia, and in this particular video I'll talk about what is the complete end-to-end roadmap which is required in order to get a expertise over a stats concept, which is required specifically for data science. See, whenever we are talking about stats concepts, it's a very big domain. Even I remember when I was pursuing my masters specifically in AI in IIT Hyderabad. So there are so many students who are pursuing the masters specifically in stats domain, or there are few of my friends who already have done masters in stats and then they came to complete the masters in AI. So the point here is that here we don't really want to go into that much depth. So there is a great depth of this subject, and even people are pursuing masters or PhD over those things. We don't really want to do that. What we really want is, we want that whatsoever concepts are required in data science project per se, those topics we really want to cover up with respect to the topic, understanding as well as the implementation either in Python or R. So I have already created a separate playlist in my channel. Starting from the scratch to the hypothesis testing part where I am talking about the p-value, everything is there. Still there are so many things which are pending, which I will try to upload it as soon as possible. But there are a lot of students who used to ping me on LinkedIn and they used to ask that how basically and where basically we can follow the concepts of stats. So I'll try to give you a complete roadmap in today's session, so that if someone is looking to understand the concepts of stats, they can check my playlist or any other playlist as well. It's not like I'm talking about only my playlist. But the point here is, you should know that what topics you need to understand in order to get a proper data science project, and what are the statistics concepts specifically which are very much useful. So again, I am saying here the point is not to do the masters in that. The point is simple, that if suppose some project will come in data science, so as a data scientist, what concepts we should know in a statistics part, right? So let's get started. So now let's try to understand the complete roadmap which is required for data science per se. Okay. So as we all know that whenever we are talking about a statistics, we all know, right? We know that in statistics we have two different types. One is something I categorize it as a descriptive part, from where we started our journey of stats portion, and another one is inferential that we are doing as of now in our playlist, right? So when I'm saying descriptive statistics, what is the real meaning of that? The real meaning is the description per se of any data that we are looking for. For example, what is the measure of central tendency? What is the measure of central tendency? There we know that there are so many different measures that we have. For example, mean, for example, median, for example, mode, right? Apart from this, we will be having a measure of dispersion. Again, that's a concept which came under the category of a descriptive stats. So when I'm talking about measure of dispersion, again, we will be having too many ways, but we should know that which one is appropriate at any given situation. For example, we will be having range. We have talked about that. IQR, which is interquartile range. Apart from this, we will be having standard deviation and variance, right? Standard deviation and variance. All these concepts you should know pretty well, okay? So this is something which I am talking about specifically for data science, because in very next few days, you will be able to get one video where I will talk about specifically EDA. So whenever for any particular data, you will do EDA, exploratory data analysis, there you will find out that the stats concepts plays a very important role. Whether I'm talking about data imputation via, mean, median, or mode, or I'm talking about the measures of dispersion, where I will try to find out the standard deviation, variance. All these concepts will play a very important role. The good thing is that rather than just focusing on the conceptual part, if you will try to implement it side by side via using Python or R programming language, it will really help you to get your conceptual level to a better extent. The good thing is that when I studied this for the very first time, these concepts, not only these concepts but the complete stats concepts with respect to data science per se in my masters, they gave the assignments in such a way that we need to do the implementation of all those things. So it's not like that whether we are just studying theoretical things conceptually, but we are also making sure that we are doing the implementation as well. So if you will follow that kind of approach, it will be of great help for you all. Apart from this, you should know regarding the concepts of outliers, right? How you can detect that, how you can if there is an outlier, how you can treat those outliers. So there comes a concept of analysis part. For example, box plot is a very good way, a very good measure, and I'll show you. I think I have already shown you, I'm not sure, but in the upcoming video there is a proper EDA video where I'll talk about all those stuffs again. Apart from this, so here comes in descriptive part. In a nutshell, if you will observe from all these aspects, we are talking about a summarizing of data. We are talking about analyzing that particular aspects of data. When I am saying detecting the outliers, we're trying to analyze that data. And then the third aspect in descriptive is the visualization of that particular data. So in visualization, you will observe, maybe we are trying to create a box plot, or maybe we are trying to create a histogram, a bar graph or bar chart, right? Which basically used to tell me that how many 0 and 1s are there if I am dealing with a classification problem. So bar graph kind of a thing. So visualization plots, right? There is a concept of scatter plot, a very useful. So again, it is also very much important to understand. There are a lot of different ways to visualize the things, right? Now, apart from this, so in box plot, we have a concept, we should know the concept of IQR, we should know the concept of what is lower and upper whisker. I have talked about all these concepts. It's not the new one, but this is the pattern with which you should follow to understand the concept. Apart from this, I am pre-assuming that the basic keywords you should know, that what is the difference between a population and sample, from where you should start your journey of learning the stats part. You should know the concept of, these are the basic terms. You should know what is random variables, right? You should know what is random variables. You should know, apart from this, the concept of PDF, probability density function, cumulative density function, PDF, CDF, what does that mean, right? You should know the probability distribution functions, not probability, PDF, or I would say distributions. So let me write it in the descriptive part only, below maybe the fifth heading, which I would say is the distributions. Here you should know what is a normal distribution, which we also called as Gaussian distribution, a very important distribution in a stats part. Once you know that, you will be easily able to get an idea what is CLT, central limit theorem, a very important and amazing concept. You should know the real-time applications of this particular theorem. I have talked about a lot, right? You should know what is its real-time applications, okay? Just not only the theorem. You should know, what is a skewed distribution, what is a known skewed distribution, okay? Then, apart from this, you should know what is different other distributions like Poisson distribution, what is Bernoulli or binomial distribution, Bernoulli, or binomial distribution, right? All these things, different kinds of distributions. I'm not saying every distribution you must know, but whatever I have written here, these are the basic ones. You should have a clear-cut understanding of at least these distributions which I am writing here, right? Now, apart from this, whenever I'm talking about inferential stats, there comes a concept that, okay, we will be having a sample, and on the basis of that sample, we are trying to get some conclusion by doing some experiment, right? Now, it's fine, but is that conclusion that we are making, what we really assume that this conclusion that we are making for a sample data will be acceptable for the population data as well? So that's where the concept of hypothesis testing will come into picture. Now, when you will learn this concept of hypothesis testing, you will be able to get acquaintance with a term like I would say null hypothesis. So you should be able to learn the concepts of how basically we can define what is null versus the alternate hypothesis. What is null versus the alternate hypothesis? Then here only comes the concept of type 1 and type 2 error. Again, a very, very important concept. What is type 1 and type 2 error? Just like a confusion matrix that we used to create in machine learning. Similarly, here also we used to create type 1 is alpha, type 2 is beta error. After that, you should know about, the concept of p-value. Very, very important. The concept of p-value. Apart from this, you should know the concept of what is correlation coefficient. I hope, again, in EDA, it plays a very utmost importance in a feature selection task. You should know the concept of that, and it's the internal intuition. In Python, we just have .cor function with the help of which we will be able to get a heat map properly. But what is the implication of that? What is covariance? What is covariance, right? Again, a very important and useful concept, right? I think these videos are already there, if I'm not saying it wrong, right? So where you should start your journey of stats for data science part, I would suggest go at least try to understand these aspects which I am writing here. You should know whatever I have written here in a complete nutshell, end to end. If I will give you some numerical problem, you will be easily able to solve that out, right? Here, you should also know the concept of confidence intervals. I hope this also I have covered up, right? So all these terms are there. I hope I'm not escaping anything. Here, obviously, I am expecting you to know whenever I'm talking about a normal distribution, you should know the concept of z-score. And whenever I'm talking about even hypothesis testing also, what is z-score? How basically you can convert your normal distribution to a standard normal form via this z-score. So here comes a concept of standard normal distribution. What is the difference between a normalization and a standardization? All these questions are the ones which can be asked from you in an interview as well. Standard normal form or standard normalization. Yeah, I can write it like this as well. What is z-test? What is t-test? Right? What is ANOVA test? All these things are pretty much important for you all to understand. Apart from this, log normal distribution also is a very, widely really in real-time applications, we have seen a log normal distribution. So again, its implications are also so many. So you should know this distribution as well, right? I think I have covered up maximum things, but it's not like that these are the only things. Apart from this, what is, univariate, bivariate, and multivariate analysis, and how you can do that, right? In stats, bivariate, multivariate, and univariate analysis, and how we can do in statistics. So all these concepts which I have written so far with respect to the distribution, with respect to descriptive, and then the inferential, you can try to start with this part once. Once you will cover up the basic fundamentals of descriptive, then go for inferential, right? Where we are trying to get, after doing some experiment, either you will, reject the null hypothesis or you will fail to reject that. So this is how basically your journey of stats for data science will start. Whatever topics I have written here, all these topics are of utmost importance in any data science project. So I'll attach this PDF also in the description of this video. So here, if you will go and you will go to the playlist site, you will be able to see a stats for data science complete playlist. So just search for Priya Bhatia, and inside the playlist tab, if you will go, you will be able to see stats for data science. Here, if you can see, all these topics are there, and those which are not there, I will very soon upload those particular topics as well. But at least you can start now. The last video was how to interpret p-values in hypothesis testing. Again, a very, very important and crucial step. There I have explained it with the help of one numerical example so that it will be clear to everyone. So I hope that whatever things I want to explain you all in this particular session is pretty much clear to everyone. If you still have any sort of doubt, do let me know. I will for sure try to resolve it as soon as possible. With this, bye-bye everyone. Happy learning to all.